Hi, everybody. I'm recording this here on kind of a late, no, I wouldn't say late, but early Sunday evening. Um, just sort of sitting around and kind of taking in the night, sort of doing a nice reflection. Today was pretty productive. I got a fair amount of editing done. Unfortunately, I'm just not going to be able to get the whole thing done by the end of the month. At this point, it's going to take a bit too long. But that's unimportant at the moment. So years ago, probably the better part of maybe 6, I'd imagine, maybe 7, 8. I remember, sitting up in my room on like Sunday nights, dreading Mondays, right? Having the Sunday night anxiety or whatever. Man, that used to be the most prevalent thing with me for so many years. I dealt with that even when I was, especially like in high school, like in school in general. Basically, I remember being like, it'd be like Sunday night and you're watching, like during football season, maybe you're watching like the 6 o'clock game or something like that, or getting ready for like the 7 o'clock or the 7:30 game, and you're just sitting there like watching it, thinking in the back of your mind, oh my god, I gotta go to school tomorrow, right? Or as I became, an adult, obviously, oh, I gotta go to work, right? It's a quiet sort of terror, that feeling, and the more I'm thinking about it now, I feel like the reason why that went away from me and why it's not ever really present anymore, why it's more or less gone at this point. I think it came down to 2 big changes in my life, and one is absolutely writing focused. And it's the big one, the writing focused one, is simply committing to something. I think that when we are a bit more committed to some larger project, the certain things like the anxiety, like cyanide anxiety, tends to go away. Unless your projects require you to only work on the weekends, then I can see it being kind of dreadful, right? Because you spend the whole weekend working on something you're really passionate about, and then all of a sudden you go, oh no, on Monday I gotta get back to work. No. All right. It's a very true feeling, a very real feeling. But I think for most of us, especially writers, we tend to write, we don't have to just write on the weekends. And I think having that project, having that sort of commitment to something greater tends to sort of occupy that space in our brains that the anxiety tends to hang out in. When you're really focused, really committed to it, I find that's where a lot of that worry and stuff tends to dissipate, at least for myself. And with that, I think the second item, which ties in the first, is the idea that you have a perspective on your day job. That if you're going after a project, like really going after some big life project, your day job should be put into perspective as something that's not as perhaps important, something that's not as meaningful and doesn't carry as much weight. And that, I found, for me, was what tended to alleviate a lot of that anxiety, was when I started to reframe my opinion on my jobs, on what I did for work. Not that I put in less effort, but that they carried less weight emotionally for me. They were not something to be worried about or anxious about. They were means to an ends. All right, they were income to support my writing and my lifestyle and my pursuit. Yeah, I mean, this video here, I'm kind of shooting off the cuff a little bit. I'm just thinking more about it just because, again, it's a nice Sunday evening. And, man, I remember just years ago feeling that way. And just, I don't know why, it just came to me. But with that, I guess I'll just sign off here. I hope that helps maybe some of you that are going through this. But, yeah, with that, I will see you all tomorrow.